In today's news, Gayle King slammed for questioning Kobe's rape allegations.
More reports of ill treatment against students in our schools.
We have 6 persons who graduated from the advanced EMT course.
Cruise ship rumors circulating, but viewers, no worries. We have the details.
Your weekly arrest blotter, and we are live with Dr. Kalisa as well as Angel Cameron from the BVI Diabetes Association, of course, as we try to clamp down on the issue of diabetes. These and more stories when 284 News returns.
What are you really running for, boss? You could have bust a hole in your head. But see with the competition, which means you're about to bust a hole in your pocket.
I could get my modem, please.
Anyhow, I got something huge to show you.
I gotta be sick in your head.
The whole on string bean, Tina kind of party. Check this. That's LTE1 for just about everyone. LTE2 for you and your boo. And hold on. Bam! Rate so low, you feel like you're free. That's LTE3 for you and the whole family.
Save even more on your internet with new pricing from CCT. Get LTE 2 now for only $149. Get LTE 3 for the new low price of $189. All packages are unlimited, so there's no overage charge. You don't have to run into Chaz for savings. Just stop by our store and sign up today. Come on over to CCT. Life Unlimited.
Welcome, everyone. It is Thursday, February 6th, 2020. My name is Javon Wilson.
And I'm Kyla Kenesha Forbes.
Kyla, today's a big day. We're celebrating the birthday of the late Bob Marley, of course, a man that truly revolutionized the industry and the world through his music and through his message of love and unity. Definitely somebody we continue to remember. His music, his legacy continues on through his music, and we just want to celebrate him, continue to celebrate the man who he was.
Yes, I agree.
Definitely.
So happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Definitely a pioneer in reggae. You know, I love reggae. And
Me too.
I think, you know, as we reflect back on the journey of reggae, that's definitely one of the persons we love to look back to as a reference.
Most
so
definitely.
happy birthday, Uncle Bob. We have to move right along into our newscast for today. Now, coming out of GIS, 6 advanced emergency medical technicians have been added to the arsenal of emergency care as the BVI Health Services continue its quest to deliver top-notch healthcare services. Technicians Burton Richardson, Cordalia Gishard, we have Eric Thompson, Jacinda Etienne, Rudolph Lewis, and Chanel Williams. They were all trained in a 4-month advanced EMT course based on U.S. as well as U.K. standards. Now, the training was delivered through a joint collaboration between the BVI Health Services Authority and the H. Lab Community College. Kyla, now Premier and Minister of Finance, Honorable Andrew A. Foy, while addressing the successful technicians, stated that there was no substitute for capacity building. He said, quote, "Now that you have been trained, we now have a cadre of persons with advanced skills to bring hope on a scene of despair. All of you have advanced in your training and you will be able to save more lives. That is the power of capacity building. We are in better hands because you have decided to elevate yourself." Now, Minister of Health and Social Development, Honorable Carvin Malone, spoke on the synergy between the 911 Emergency Center and its impact on emergency response. He assured the new advanced EMTs that government is urgently working to ensure that the system is to full capacity, which will also contribute to the adequate response times as well as the overall patient outcomes. Now, Acting President of HLSCC, Dr. Richard Georges, highlighted the importance of the collaboration between the college as well as BVI HSA. He said, quote, "What we are seeing today is the manifestation of where the territory needs to be heading." Meanwhile, Chief Executive Officer of the BVI Health Services Authority, Dr. Ronald Georges, called for a continuation of the partnership and for offering of similar courses to all first responders. Medical Director for Emergency Management Services, Dr. Dominic Fraser, said that the addition of the trained technicians is a big step towards enhancing the quality of care in the pre-hospital setting, as they are now equipped with advanced skills to assess and intervene with the support of medical direction from a physician. He said they will now be able to start a IV process an IV access, administer drugs, and provide advanced airway support, which will give patients a higher level of care and decrease the pre-hospital morbidity and mortality rates, Dr. Fraser explained. Now, the Advanced EMT course was a 4-month course which saw technicians receiving training for 3 hours, 3 days a week. The training was comprised of clinical rotations, exams, research papers, and a final exam administered by an external agency and is certified by the Caribbean Association of Fire Chiefs. So, Kyla, here we see another opportunity, successful outcome of persons elevating themselves, like the Premier rightfully said, of course, in the health industry, making sure that we are well prepared to deal with any emergency when that time arises.
I think what I love most about this initiative is that we're highlighting careers that's not necessarily the norm. You know, we're putting these things out here. So an EMT now is a viable option for our young people to go into. We have the training facilities right here. So that's an awesome initiative.
I think just acknowledging the fact that they all play a part, they're all pieces to the puzzle. We want to ensure that we're able to deliver good health care in the British Virgin Islands.
Definitely. So, Javon, just last week in the BVI, there was an uproar as rumors were circulated about a local teacher and a student being forced to gargle Pine-Sol. Since then, more and more reports of educators mistreating students have surfaced. Javon, really and truly, this is a very, very scary revelation. In a Facebook post, a local teacher of the territory commented on the incident and said, "Not the first teacher to have done something like this or similar, and they remain in the classroom, but you just don't know. If you're disciplining one, do it for all." So many concerned parents everywhere. Where are you when you're needed? Javon, here in this statement, as I said, it was a local teacher. I think we're seeing kind of a fight between parents and teachers.
Just last night I came across an occurrence of that situation where, again, there seems to be a huge disconnect or some type of miscommunication between the parents and the teachers when it comes to the children. And I feel like part of that is not acknowledging the important role that persons on both sides of the spectrums play in that child's life. And we don't necessarily want to be taking everything to social media, because we always have to think about what example that is setting for the kids and how they're feeding into all of that information that is going around. And a lot of it is disparaging, not very encouraging.
I do agree. So actually last Tuesday, during a community meeting, Honorable Melvin Mitch Turnbull revealed that he has received reports of more situations that involve gross ills being done to students. He indicated that these reports originated out of different schools in the territory. Of course, Honorable Turnbull did not go into detail about the situation because of the sensitive nature of the incident, but he did ensure that the incidents are being investigated at this time. As I said before, it's a very scary thing. We see here before where a teacher, I don't think she was necessarily making it, seeing in that it was okay, but as she said before, she talked about here are parents finally being concerned, but shouldn't they be? You know, was
they have
the
every right.
Exactly, was the uproar not necessary?
Absolutely.
You know,
these are our kids.
Exactly. Honorable Mitch Turnbull, he spoke about who are we holding responsible. He feels as though the teachers and the education system should be held accountable for such acts.
I completely agree with him, and I know he's also speaking from the basis of being a parent as well. He has a young child. Kyla, the most important thing here to note is that according to the Act, as a teacher, you have a legal responsibility to report any form of abuse or ill treatment, maltreatment of a child, you have a responsibility to report that. The ministry then has a responsibility to investigate that. The Teaching Services Commission then have a further responsibility to discipline or to reprimand whoever is responsible.
Right.
Are all protocols being followed? I don't think so, and I think this is the reason why we're in this position. We have to look at all sides of the story, and every story has three parts: your side, my side, and the truth. But we really have to examine, because at the end of the day, one of our prime responsibilities must be to protect our kids, and that should be at all costs.
I agree. I do agree. Still ahead, we're talking about all things diabetes with Dr. Cruikshank and Angel Cameron. This and so much more when 284 News returns.
Is business slow, cash flow down, hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media at cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
When you need to stay connected with friends and families at home or abroad, the best choice for you is Freedom. CCT Freedom. With the lowest rates in the market, our Freedom plan gives you unlimited calls and texting. Plus, our Freedom One package includes 10 gigabits of super fast unlimited LTE data and unlimited calls to the BVI, USA, USVI, Canada, Puerto Rico, and UK lines. Why pay for overages when you can enjoy CCT Freedom? Stop by at one of our stores today and speak with one of our representatives to find out more about our CCT Freedom packages.
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. As promised, guest in studio here with us is Dr. Kalisa Cruikshank and Mrs. Angel Cameron of the BVI Diabetes Association. So, Javon, over to you.
Thank you so much, Kyla. Viewers, as we continue on the fight against diabetes, the numbers are climbing around the world. I'm so honored to be sitting today with Dr. Kalisa as well as Angel Cameron from the BVI Diabetes Association. Ladies, welcome.
Thank you so much for having us.
You're welcome. So when we think about diabetes, as I said, the numbers continue to rise. I know we have equal concerns in the British Virgin Islands. We heard the Minister of Health spoke several times about cranking down on some of the diseases that we have locally, diabetes being one of the number one diseases. For some reason, we don't hear about it much outside of the actual month, which is November, correct? Yes. Why do you think that is so? And why are the numbers continuing to climb?
Well, in my opinion, as a practitioner working at the hospital and worked privately in the past, most people aren't really educated, right? We assume that they are because we know and we think that our knowledge is general. But when you speak to persons and they don't understand how they get the diabetes, some persons still don't know the signs and symptoms, they're not aware of the treatment options, there's a deficit, right? And this project that I'm doing with the Diabetes Association came from that. Right, speaking with other doctors, realizing that there's a deficit regarding education the general public. That's how it came about.
Okay.
Yes, and I think from a Diabetes Association standpoint, it's important for us to have practitioners who are willing to use their personal time to be able to educate the public and then educate those who are family members of persons with diabetes and those who are affected by the disease. A lot of what we see at the association are persons who are coming in because they either can't afford the care or they have family members and they don't know, how do we help? What are we supposed to do? We're seeing emotional changes. We're seeing physical changes. What is our role to play? And then how do we get someone to support us in this? Because it takes a toll on you, the person who has to take care of it. And financially, it does affect families. So we have a project that we are so happy to have Dr. Kalisa Cruikshank come in and do a 6-week course.
That's a full campaign.
It is. It really is. It really is. It's 6 weeks of diabetes education, starting from the foundation of the basics. What
Yeah.
is diabetes? And taking you all the way to what treatment looks like.
Yeah.
All right. So,
So-
Dr. Khalees, I guess you're going to get into.
Right. So the sessions are going to be hosted at the Diabetes Association building on Main Street.
Okay.
And like Angel said, it's for 6 weeks. There's going to be every Wednesday from 5:30 to 6:30. That's 1 hour. And the idea came about seeing the deficit in my practice, speaking with persons, and what we're trying to achieve is to educate persons.
The awareness aspect.
Right, bringing awareness and just starting at the basics. That at the basic level, me speaking to the person as if they never heard about this before.
Right.
Right? And then once these basic building blocks are there, then they can build on it. So when this person or this family member, they go back to the doctor or to the clinic, they now have a question that they can ask because they have some understanding of their disease. Right? So what we want to move towards is patient empowerment.
Yes.
Right? So persons can take hold of whatever condition or diagnosis they have, and when they come to the doctor now, it's not the doctor telling you what to do. We're having a discussion about your
Right.
health.
But that is generally my approach, so I can
Right.
understand the importance of that. If I have a health issue, one of the things I try to do myself is do as much research as possible, even before I head to the
You'd
doctor.
be surprised at how rare that is.
Oh, wow.
Most persons expect the expert to tell
speak on
them.
that.
And,
Absolutely.
and it
That's
creates
true.
a problem because patient empowerment means more than just you understanding what should happen. It forces you then to have questions.
Right.
Well, for my height and my weight, with a family history, doc,
Right.
what should I look forward to? I think I'm predisposed to this now that you've said I have that.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit more about that? But a lot of our patients, in BVI, a lot of the patients, and Dr. Kalisha can talk about this, they really don't have that information. They
Yeah.
just take the information given to them and they go, these are the pills I need to take, this is what I need to do 3 times a day, and that's it.
You know, as generic as it seems, diabetes, we just seem to think it could never be us. And I know,
Yeah.
like in speaking to you, I recognize too that a lot of the persons that are coming in, like the age apparently is getting younger and younger.
Yeah, we're
and younger.
seeing much younger patients, and we still have the older patients as well. But because the disease is affecting persons at a younger age, by the time they get to that older age, they have much more complications. And then persons are also unaware of what complications exist. They often think that someone having a heart attack or a stroke are like individual
Right,
things, and it's
right.
not connected to the underlying diabetes or
Okay.
hypertension.
Okay.
So the idea of this 6-week diabetes awareness program is to take them through what is diabetes, how is it diagnosed, what are my treatment options, how do I monitor the disease, what complications are there, and then the take-home message is like, how can this be prevented?
Awesome.
Yeah.
So at a very basic level of understanding for all persons to comprehend.
Right, all invited healthcare workers, but is guided towards the general public.
Okay, so
Yeah.
anyone is invited.
Anyone
Anyone.
is invited. And the great thing about this 6-week session that Dr. Cruikshank will be doing is that you'll be able to understand. A lot of times you hear a lot of medical jargon, and it
Yes.
makes it so
Yes.
difficult for you to break that down and understand what that means. This
Right.
is going to be a very layman term 6-week
Right.
discussion,
Yes.
just educating you on what you need to know.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, in wrapping up, I have to speak quickly to the collaboration aspect because, like you said, it's so important, even as an association, for you to get somebody who's on the field, who's doing it, who's
Yeah.
interacting with these persons at such a intimate level. Speak to that type of collaboration for us a little bit as we close and why it's so important in our society today.
So I think, 2 of the things that we're missing is the disconnect between the patient and the persons who facilitate care. And that disconnect creates an uncomfortable balance between how the disease is managed.
Yes.
Because a lot of times there are persons who are affected, they go to the practitioners once, and they feel they can self-manage.
Yes.
Yes.
Then we see them at the center. And by this point, they've gone
It's
beyond.
elevated.
It has just elevated beyond. And getting them to go back to a practitioner becomes difficult because not everyone believes in that. And, you know, we have a lot of wholesome people who really want to do that holistic wellness aspect. Are you one of those people? If you're out there, we love you and we appreciate you. But we really do believe that holistic wellness must be undergirded by expertise.
Right. That's
And
very
this is
true.
why we,
I agree
you
with
know,
that.
we really believe that, you know, it's good to have that, but just check it out with your doctor.
All right.
Yes,
Make
very
sure that
true.
the side effects of what you're expecting to do don't interact or create other issues for you. Make sure that your body type, your BMI is right
Okay.
for this holistic wellness journey that you're about to take. And then the truth is, you know, medicine helps. But medicine
does.
is so much more than what's prescribed by the doctors.
Exactly.
So that partnership, we realized there really was an imbalance there, and we needed to figure out how to do that. We do have on board at the Diabetes Association a dietitian. Dr. Charlene Lewis is a part of our association, and she helps to review and monitor. And we do have persons who do foot care. We do foot care for diabetics at the center every day, Monday through Friday. So we do have medical practitioners on board, but we needed someone who is seeing them on a daily basis outside the field to bring that perspective,
Agreed.
not just of a specialty area or after you've been affected, but she can be able to now go, you know what we're seeing increasing are these things. Here's how you should manage the way you make the public aware.
Nice,
Yes.
nice. Okay, so just remind us of the dates as we close out.
So the program launches on the 12th of February, which is next week, Wednesday.
Okay.
However, registration starts at that time. Our first session will be the 18th of February.
Okay,
Yeah.
and every week going forward.
Every week going forward. And then
Yes.
this Saturday, we have an awareness campaign, which is a Music Under the Moon event. So we're inviting you and the entire public to come on out. And all it is listening to some music, and there will be some lovely meals that are alternative meals for you to be able to see what healthy tastes like.
Thank you guys so much. It was
Thank
a
you for
pleasure
having us.
chit-chatting with you guys. And of course, good luck on the mission going forward to reduce the numbers
All right,
that
thank you
is
so
locally in the
much.
BVI. You're welcome.
All right.
Kyla, back to you.
Siobhan, thank you. Such an amazing interview with those ladies. So on we go, viewers. As you may be aware, on February 1st, 2020, a ship by the name of Ada Perla was denied entry into St. Lucia after health authorities confirmed that high number of cruise passengers had been experienced respiratory tract infection. Of course, with all these reports of viruses going around, countries have to be cautious at their borders. Contrary to rumors that surfaced about the coronavirus reaching St. Lucia, the Department of Health and Wellness of St. Lucia denied any cases of the coronavirus on board the ship. Well, viewers, just this morning, a similar cruise ship from the Ada Cruise Line fleet arrived in our territory. Of course, the people of the Virgin Islands were in a state of panic. Our newsroom quickly reached out to the staff at the Cyril B. Rumney Tortola Pier Park. They then brought some clarity to this situation. But viewers, I can definitely say do not panic. Actually, the Ada Luna is in our Pier Park right now. This is a whole different ship from the Ada Perla, which was turned away in St. Lucia. Of course, it's an easy mistake to make because the artworks on the side is pretty similar. Here you can see the ship's itinerary. The Ada Luna departed from Dominican Republic and visited Martinique, Antigua, and St. Martin before coming to our beautiful shores. So once again, my dear people of the Virgin Islands, there is no need to panic and be sure to greet our visitors with a smile. Still ahead, Gayle King is being dragged for questioning Kobe's rape allegation and your weekly arrest blotter. Here, all about it when 284 News returns.
How may I assist you?
Please. That was good.
You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top or power?
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. Now, this is a big story, Kyla. Happened overnight, of course. Just completely went viral and through the roof. Viewers, we have to report on CBS This Morning star Gayle King. She is in hot water following an interview that she did with Lisa Leslie, one of Kobe Bryant's close friends. Now, people across the world, Kyla, are outraged that she questioned Lisa about Kobe's allegations of rape. Now, if you're yet to see the video, let's just take a look at what happened.
Said that his legacy is complicated because of a sexual assault charge, which was dismissed in 2003, 2004. Is it complicated for you as a woman, as a WNBA player?
It's not complicated for me at all. Even if there's a few times that we've been at a club at the same time. Kobe's not the kind of guy, never been like, you know, Lisa, go get that girl or tell her or send her this. I have other NBA friends that are like that. Kobe's, he was never like that. I just never have ever seen him being the kind of person that would do something to violate a woman or be aggressive in that way. That's just not the person that I know.
But Lisa, you wouldn't see it though. As his friend, you wouldn't see it.
And that's possible. I just don't believe that. And I'm not saying things didn't happen. I just don't believe that things didn't happen with force.
Is it even a fair question to talk about it, considering he's no longer with us and that it was resolved? Or is it really part of his history?
I think that the media should be more respectful. At this time, it's like if you had questions about it, you've had many years to ask him that. I don't think it's something that we should keep hanging over his legacy. I mean, it went to trial.
Yeah, with the cases, it was dismissed because the victim in the case refused to testify, so it was dismissed.
And I think that's how we should leave it.
It is. Now, Kyla, we can definitely see why this went viral. I think celebrities, fans, family, friends, a lot of persons have taken to social media. Really, some persons like Snoop Dogg, really, like literally cursing her out. And a lot of persons are hurt. You know, she definitely seemed to strike a chord as millions of persons are still mourning the death of Kobe Bryant in what they claim is a blatant attempt to discredit his legacy, for a legacy that he worked so hard for. Now, Gayle responded, surprisingly, and she said, quote, "If I had seen the clip that you saw, I would be extremely angry with me too. I am mortified, I am embarrassed, and I'm very angry. Now, unbeknownst to me, my network put up a clip from a very wide-ranging interview, totally taken out of context. And when you see it that way, it's very jarring. For the network to take the most salacious part when taken out of context, put it up online for people who didn't see the whole interview, is very upsetting to me, and it's something I'm going to have to deal with them." Now, Kyla, again, this is a very touchy topic for so many reasons, but equally an opportunity for us to address media's responsibility. I think ultimately persons are troubled because of the timing of this interview. It's still fresh. I think the wounds is still very much open, and persons are saying basically, how dare you question his legacy in a time when the world is still mourning? Persons are still hurting. And like Lisa said, of course, Lisa is the young lady in the interview. If you had questions, why didn't you ask him before his death? But other persons equally too are disappointed because what they're seeing is a black woman calling out another black man. And now, of course, in hindsight of the black struggle we've had and what we've been through as a people, a lot of persons are disappointed that she would do that. You know, I know one person even went on to say, "Oh, you're not calling out your little white friend, Mr. Weinstein, on his rape allegations, but here you are trying to drag Kobe Bryant, a man that lost his life." Do you think that she was just doing her job, or do you think that Gayle King went too far this time?
I did watch the clip, Javon. I think, as she said, I was unaware of her statement that replied to it. But no, hearing about the network, I can understand how that interview could have been taken out of context,
Misconstrued.
especially if you didn't see the whole interview. You understand? But the clip that I did see, I was upset myself. I felt as though she was insinuating, although she did not come out and say specifically this.
Right.
She did insinuate to some things. But I now personally would like to see the
full
picture.
interview.
Yes.
Well, it was a long interview, and like she said, very wide-ranging. That truly spoke to the full life and legacy of Kobe Bryant. And this clip is merely 2 minutes of that interview. So indeed, I could see why the network, just for numbers' sake, they would want to publish that first.
But also too, if we ever realize when someone dies, they always try to discredit their legacy. You know, we had Whitney Houston, and for a lot of it, they focused on her drug addiction.
Right.
We had Michael Jackson, all amazing artists and had such an amazing legacy. And after their deaths, their legacy was, discredited.
Tarnished.
So we have to ask why.
I think we have to remember that we're all human beings. But Kyle, I want to speak to another aspect of this because, even as a media representative, we have found ourselves in similar situations. Let's take, for example, right here in the British Virgin Islands, we're such a small community, viewers. Everyone is related or closely affiliated. We're friends with politicians, and we're also friends with the people on the street who don't agree with political schemes. Should we look at affiliations and censor the truth or the facts to benefit our friends, our partners, our families? Absolutely not. I think our primary responsibility is to do our research, report the news, and yes, I think that will offend some people, and it will continue to offend a few persons. In this case, most persons hated the fact that, Gayle questioned Lisa, which is a very good friend of Kobe Bryant, on these allegations. But truthfully, there is a fraction of people who believe that he did it. As a matter of fact, he admitted to cheating with this person, the person in question. So definitely something happened, even if it was consensual. Now, that's beside the fact. And I think while Gayle may have done it because she thought she was doing her job, a lot of persons actually wanted to know what Lisa thought too. So again, sometimes we villainize the messenger and we forget to look at the facts. Do we want media personalities that will fit into a mold or hold back because people might be offended? No, I think we are here to do one thing, and that is to enlighten the masses, the people who are interested in truth and awareness, so that they can make informed decisions. Now, as a journalist, we also have the opportunity to control the narrative, and I think this is what Gayle King always tries to do. We see the same reference when she interviewed R. Kelly, who is now convicted of many of the accusations, being tried for many of those allegations, arrested, in custody. So while at that time, it may not have been well received by the public, or he felt cheated in some type of way, it led to the reality that he's now a part of. So we have a responsibility, again, to report, and we have a moral obligation to get the facts right, yes, but we still have to report the news, especially if it's something that will affect the well-being of others.
I'd like to interject there. I do agree. As a media professional, we do have a responsibility, but as you said earlier, I think there's your side, her side, and the truth. You understand? And I think that's why we have to be so careful about our line of questioning and where we take certain stories, because sometimes as media personalities, you go beyond the truth.
That is absolutely right.
Sometimes your own personal feelings are interjected in there. That's why you have to be so careful, because I think what people don't realize is that media professionals have such a influence.
Yes.
And that's why the responsibility is so strong. So we always speak about this. I think that's why you have to be so careful when putting certain stories out there. But in Gayle's, in this situation, it may not have been her, but more so the company that she works under.
I feel like she went into this interview knowing exactly what she wanted to ask. And again, it's very unfortunate, but it's life. Whether Kobe Bryant made a mistake or not, whether or not he lied, it's still a part of who he was, and that should not take away from the legacy that he has left. Kobe Bryant was Kobe Bryant, and he will be remembered for all of what he was. And again, I agree with the fact that it was a sensitive time. I do honestly agree with that, but I don't think that should be at the expense of asking a question that other persons may have wanted to know the answer to. I do sympathize with his family, his friends, his fans. I do sympathize with all the persons who spoke out against this. But again, I feel like, I don't know, I don't feel like I'm going to give Gayle King all the wrong in this situation at all. It's a hard balance to create.
Right.
But I guess Gayle was just being Gayle, and she felt like she had a job to do, as we do here at 284 Media.
I guess so.
Viewers, we are out of time, but we're going to bring you the arrest blotter tomorrow.
Tomorrow. We will have that for you tomorrow. So that's it for today's news roundup. Be sure to visit us at 284news.com and like us on Facebook at 284 Media and 284 BVI on Instagram and Twitter. Viewers, I am Kyla Kenesha Forbes.
And I am Javon Wilson, wishing you a blessed day as we continue to deliver your daily dose of local, regional, and international content right here on 284 Media. Thank you so much for joining us.